Prince Harry's book doing so well internationally for Penguin Random House, you can understand why they're still very keen in order to get Meghan Markle to ink that final deal for her own tell-all book. In fact, she's touted it around for some time now. If you think about it, you see, they would like to see some kind of return for their investment in her children's book. We think it was at least called The Bench. Do you remember that one? And of course, with a lot of things like Meghan, it didn't particularly take off, and now seemingly has disappeared from all levels of bookshelves and indeed not popped up in dollar stores. Looks like they've learned their lesson and decided to close literally the book on The Bench. But now, according to a very good source, Meghan herself is still very keen to put, shall we say, keyboard to paper in order to make sure that her version of events comes out. But there's a new interesting development, and as ever, I wanted to share it with you. Hi, good morning. Nice to see you. Blustery day already today. Hope you're keeping well. Still a nice bit of sunshine though. And yes, my eyes watering. I share these things with you. We're all human, It can't be helped, can it? What do you mean it can be helped, Neil? It can't, honestly. Out in the wind, the rain, the hail, the snow, everything to bring you the exclusive news that matters to you. And there's a bike as well. You see, you couldn't make this stuff up, could you? Back as ever to your breaking roll story of the day. As I say, you see, Prince Harry's book, a lot of people speculated it wouldn't be successful, but it was successful. People did go out and buy it in their droves, not necessarily in mainland Europe, particularly over here in the United Kingdom. It didn't sell that particularly well, but certainly over in other territories, it did well, particularly in Japan, Brazil, and the Netherlands for some reasons. So you can understand why publishers are now very keen for Meghan Markle to do the same. What's interesting here, though, is that Meghan, according to a very good source, has tons and tons, literally, of footage. Not just footage, but pictures, behind-the-scenes things of royal events. Now, it's interesting, isn't it? Because in this digital age, who owns what? As we've seen, it would appear that Meghan and Harry do have some legal recourse and know exactly what they can get away with, because when you look at the docuseries, they had to fake those pictures in order to make them seem dramatic. But of course, with a book, it's your recollections, your versions of events. But now, according to a very good source, and as ever, we have to say allegedly, Meghan has decided that this particular tome will have the prefix of Volume 1. Now, that should send a shudder down the spines of senior royals, because that obviously means, unlike Prince Harry, who's basically concluded most of his book, there's still more, but he claims there's a lot more. But with her, of course, Volume 1 could basically say, well, this is Volume 1, Part 1 of my royal life. Of course, if she's taking those pictures on her own phone, her own digital platforms, then they could be her copyright, hers to use, particularly things in, Frogmore Cottage, out in the Windsor estate, perhaps even some unpublished pictures of our late and beautiful monarch. Who's to say what was going on behind closed doors? Now, right now, whatever you're thinking, she is obviously very interested to make sure that she makes some money. We know that she's interested in kickstarting the TIG. We know that she's interested in looking at other monetization options. The book would mean, the biggest thing. But of course, given the fact that Harry's now basically decimated his own family through his tell-all book, obviously, Meghan herself won't really be dealing with her own family. That's fractious enough. Not much of it to talk about, according to her. Didn't know many people. So now the focus will remain on Meghan turning her beady eye over to the British monarchy and her time within the royal family. And as I say, if this is titled Volume 1, that means there could be more explosive volumes to follow, meaning, of course, more and more money down the years. As ever, it's a developing story, and when I know more, you'll know more. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.